There's a lot of mistakes that people can make in crypto investing. There's so many different ways to be able to play within the space. Here are the main mistakes that I see people make. First off, before I get into the problems, I do want to recognize there's a lot of information out there in the crypto world. There's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of euphoria. There's a lot of emotions. There's a lot of ways that people can get rich. There's a lot of money to be made. And also, it's moving very, very, very fast. So one thing that does come up in the crypto space is I find there's this energy and there's this like hunger that people have where they think they have to know it all. Like if someone's doing something, they're like, I have to be in it and I have to do this. Or if I don't know it, I don't know it. And so one mistake, this is not the most common one, but one mistake I see people make is that they don't have a plan, or if they have a plan, they abandon the plan and then they just try to jump into things that are hot and fresh, thinking that influencers or people speaking on YouTube and on the internet know better than they do. And therefore what happens is people don't end up not creating plans for themselves and for their own lifestyles, but instead they just keep jumping around from like the next flashy thing that comes out versus the next flashy thing. One thing that I really love to do for myself and for my students is I really love recommending, and I know this is a very common thing a lot of people talk about, is the concept of using core coins. And like having that be a certain percentage of your portfolio. And so I'll take those core coins for myself, like in this cycle, Pulse Chain is a huge one of my core holdings. And the way that I determine a core holding is something that is actually rooted in innovation, solving problems. It's part of the cutting edge. I have a very strong, solid conviction and confidence with it that this is something that is here to be able to do really well in the cycle for numerous things. For Pulse Chain, one of the big things is like it's a layer 1 coin in its first cycle. If you don't know what a layer 1 coin is, go do some Googling, but ultimately layer 1 coins do really well in their first cycles historically. Some examples being like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Cardano, BNB, like they've all done super, super well. And so this narrative does really push and does really carry far in the market where people understand like layer 1s will do well. So anyways, first thing for myself is make sure you're playing. People oftentimes change their investing plan or they don't have a plan. So first things first, create a plan for yourself that fits your lifestyle and fits your financial goals as well. Another massive, massive mistake I see people make is not studying or being aware of the market cycles. And for anyone who's been in the crypto world, you know, first off, how volatile and how crazy price can be. But you also know that price in crypto is just studying patterns. Like every 4 years, there is a bull market. This has happened for the past 15 years. Price rises up, like we move along. And then a year later, we hit its all-time high. Like we don't know how things are going to fully plan out, but we do know that 2024 is going to be a massive year for crypto based on historical evidence and historical patterns. The financial market, the macro, like the traditional market, runs on patterns. The same thing goes with the crypto market. And so one mistake that I find a lot of people make is they just jump straight on into crypto and they don't look or study the patterns that are going on when the right time is to buy, when the right time is to sell. And in my opinion, the volatility of crypto, like it dips down a lot. It could dip down like 80% each cycle. And so it is very important to be able to take profits if building wealth in your cycle, like is in your values. So studying the cycles of when to buy and when to sell is extremely important, and this layers into building a plan that works for you. Third thing that I see as the problem is a lot of people come into crypto and treat it like a casino. Once again, it's rooted in a lack of education. Do you notice the problems and patterns here? Is a lot of people are not educating themselves, and therefore they're just like, ooh, let me buy the dog coin, like flashy things. And they just buy things based off of what people say or emotions or hype. And quite often I find if you're buying based off of just emotions, first off, your plan probably is not super strong. And so it's more easy to knock you left or right. You are definitely a lot more emotionally invested, and therefore you may catch yourself like checking your phone or checking the charts numerous times to wonder like, ooh, like how's this going? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Like you can ask yourself if this is the case too, just based on like your own relationships to social media or your own relationship to dopamine. Or even when you're just sitting around, like, are these the things that are floating in your mind? Like going back to price. If that's the case, I like to say it's probably not a healthy relationship with price or with money or with these things. And if that's the case, you're probably you're super emotionally invested, which is never the case, like a safe case to be as an investor who wants to build wealth or wants to build something of value and have a life that also is very enjoyable in the process. And so between those three, I find that's very common mistakes. I mean, other ones we can always add in: don't have security figured out, don't understand how things work. Those are all learned skills. Anything technology-wise, I'm like, these are all learned skills, and they're a lot easier than what people make them to be. But they just take time of building confidence time and time again. It's not anything you can't do. Like, I didn't know how to do all the tech stuff until I learned it. And yes, it always comes with discomfort and a learning curve. But if we can acknowledge the fear or the emotions that come up with it and then say, I choose a different pathway, I choose that I'm going to create this for myself, we can learn the skill. And plus we have this beautiful thing called like YouTube University, where you can just type in any problem or go onto Twitter and ask for help, and also make sure that you're not getting scammed. But I do find that security is a big mistake that I also see some people make, which honestly for myself, like I find with security, like, yes, security is great for practical reasons, but more than anything, like having my hardware wallet, having a proper place where like my 12 words or 24 words are being stored, my seed words, they don't just help me like actually navigate those things of safety, but instead it helps build me confidence to know that my systems are working for me. I can go to sleep knowing that my crypto is protected. I haven't done anything illegal, like not illegal, but like there's no hackers or scammers coming in. Like everything is good and by the books. And for me, that is like huge like relief. And I find as investors, like our biggest job is just to be able to consume the right information, making decisions. Like it's really just making decisions. And if I'm in a space, and when I have been in a space where my emotions have been emotionally charged, I don't make the best decisions. We all know this is like, if you're feeling emotional, you don't make the best decisions. And so my goal is, how do I build systems? How do I build a plan? How do I have my core holdings of cryptos? How do I see the market cycle and timing and have this into this beautiful picture and plan that helps support my nervous system and helps me as a human actually make decisions? Because we can't separate the humanness and the investor. Like the human comes first and the investor is here, but like they all go hand in hand. So anyways, these are some of my biggest mistakes that I've seen people make, and also I've seen my own self make. Like, I am not immune to this, especially with the market cycle timing. Like, and when ego kicks in, being like, we're going to get greedy. We're going to see this money go not from like a 10x to a 20x to a 50x to a 100,000x. Oh, yeah, totally. No. Like, the emotions are just kicking in. So, for me, I've had to learn so much about myself through crypto, and this is one big reason that I love it, is just like, I've learned so much emotionally intelligence-wise, and I will continuously keep on learning emotionally intelligence-wise, and I will continuously keep on upgrading my relationship to money and abundance and bring more of this into my world and bring more power into my world and bring more confidence and building more confidence and setting myself free. And that's what I find the greatest tool of crypto is yes, we can become financially free, but we can become emotionally stable I can become emotionally stable within myself. I can make better decisions. I can have more power with my money. I can know what a dollar really means to me. And I can just create more with this. Like, what a fun thing. So anyways, that is all I have for today. I'm Whitney Magic. I love being here and chatting with crypto, money, wealth building, emotions, intuition, and everything else in between. So catch you on the next one.